If you've ever been told to just calm down when you're feeling anxious, it's not that simple. In fact, a lot of the time, it just makes things worse. So today, we're going to dive into a completely different way of thinking about this. 6 subtle, silent habits that talk directly to your nervous system to quiet anxiety, like almost instantly.
So let's just start with this idea because it really flips the script. If anxiety isn't something we need to calm down, then what is it? And what are we supposed to do with it? This one thought, right here, it challenges pretty much everything we've been taught about how to handle that feeling of being overwhelmed.
I mean, it's a super common experience, right? The harder you try to force yourself to relax, the more tense you get. It's like you're white-knuckling your way through a breathing exercise, and that anxiety just seems to dig its heels in even deeper. And you know what? There's a real biological reason for that, and once you get it, everything starts to make sense.
And that brings us right to what we can call the anxiety paradox. We're going to break down exactly why our go-to instinct to fight back against anxiety, to wrestle it into submission, is the very thing that's fueling it.
Okay, so here's the crucial thing to understand. Anxiety isn't a bug in your system. It's a feature. It's your brain's ancient, hardwired control system that's always asking one simple question. Am I safe enough to relax right now? And if the answer is anything but a solid yes, it just kicks into gear. Your heart rate goes up, muscles get tight, your focus narrows. All of it is designed to get you ready for a potential threat.
And this is the paradox. When you feel anxious, and then you immediately react with all this urgency, thinking, oh my gosh, I have to fix this, I have to calm down right now, well, your brain doesn't really hear your words. It reads your body. It feels that tension, it senses the panic, and it concludes, oh wow, there must be a real threat. Good thing I'm on high alert. You're basically confirming the danger without even realizing it.
So, if brute force doesn't work, what does? Well, we need to start having a totally new kind of conversation with our nervous system. This isn't about overpowering anxiety anymore. It's about changing the signals we're sending to our brain.
And you can really see the shift right here. On the left, that's the old way, trying to fight anxiety with force and control, which, as we know, just creates more tension. But on the right, that's the new conversation. We're going to learn how to reshape, interrupt, remove, and even contradict the physical signals that anxiety is running on.
So, how do we actually do this? Well, this brings us to the real meat of this whole explainer: 6 super practical, silent habits you can use anytime, anywhere, to give your brain the actual physical evidence of safety that it's looking for.
All right, here's our game plan. We're going to walk through extending the exhale, relaxing the jaw, breaking out of tunnel vision, reducing stimulation, moving with control, and then finally, just naming the feeling. Each one is a totally different way to send that same message. Hey, we're safe.
Okay, first up is your breath. But probably not in the way you're thinking. Don't try to force it. Instead, just gently reshape it. Let your exhale stretch out just a little bit longer than feels natural. And then, and this is the most important part, just pause for a beat. That tiny little gap before your body automatically takes the next breath in, that is a powerful, powerful biological signal that says, see, no immediate danger here.
All right, number 2 is all about interrupting that loop between your jaw and your brain. A clenched jaw is basically your body's stay ready signal. So don't just kind of try to relax it. You want to actively reset it. Let your teeth part just a little, let your tongue rest heavy and soft on the bottom of your mouth, and just soften your lips. You're not just relaxing a muscle. You're turning off a nagging alarm bell that's been ringing in the background.
Anxiety literally narrows your vision, which then leads to those narrow looping thoughts. To break that cycle, you just have to change your visual input. So silently, just name 3 objects you see. Then, find something far away to look at. After that, without moving your head, just notice what's at the very edge of your vision. You're physically showing your brain that your world is bigger than whatever it's currently fixated on.
When we feel anxious, our first instinct is often to grab for a distraction, right? Our phone, music, anything. But the thing is, our nervous system doesn't calm down when you add more input. It settles when you take input away. So try this. For just 2 minutes, remove all the input. No phone, no noise. Your mind might get even louder at first. That is totally normal. Just stay with it. The calm is right on the other side of that little peak.
Panic and anxiety, they thrive on urgency and speed. So the trick is to send a completely contradictory signal. Pick one tiny, simple action, like taking a sip of water or picking up a pen, and do it with deliberate, slow, controlled movement. Your brain gets that message loud and clear. If we were in real danger, we would not be moving this slowly. And that contradiction can be enough to break the whole feedback loop.
Now this last one, it seems simple, but it is incredibly powerful. When that feeling starts to rise, just label it, silently, to yourself. Just say, this is anxiety. And then stop. That's it. That's the whole move. Don't analyze it, don't judge it, and for sure, do not try to fix it. The simple act of observing the feeling instead of getting totally swept away by it creates just a little bit of distance. And sometimes that distance is everything.
So we've just gone through 6 pretty different habits, right? But they all work because of one single underlying principle. Let's pull back the curtain and look at the master switch that makes all of them so effective.
So here's the key takeaway. These habits don't work by some kind of magic relaxation trick. They work because they systematically cut off the fuel that anxiety needs to survive. See, anxiety runs on a few key things: tension, urgency, a narrow focus, and speed. Every single habit we just talked about is designed to remove one of those signals, basically starving the system until it just runs out of gas.
And if you remember one thing from all of this, let it be this. You can't talk your brain out of anxiety. You can't just reassure it with nice thoughts. It doesn't trust your words when it's on high alert. It trusts data. It needs cold, hard, physical evidence from your body and from your environment that you are, in fact, safe enough to stand down.
So I'll leave you with this question to carry with you. Just take a second, right now, as you're listening. Is your jaw tight? Is your breathing kind of shallow? Are you leaning forward, staring intently? What is the evidence that you're sending your brain in this very moment?